Okay, so let's look into the agenda for today's session. Today we will be looking about for loops. So why do we use for loops and how to use for loops in Python? We will be looking about it. So first, for loop. So why do we use for loop? So if let's say if I have a question, what I want to do, I want to print hello 5 times. What you can do, you can open your console. You can open your console and write code as print hello 1 time, and then just copy it and write it 5 times. So in this way you will be able to write the print hello 5 times. But if let's say I want it to be printed 1000 times, or say 10,000 times, or say 20,000 times, how will you print it then? Will you be copying it 1000 times? Don't you think it is tedious? So in order to save us from this tedious effort, we have for loops, we have loops, and here we will be talking about for loops. We have while loops as well. We will be talking about while loop in the next session, but for now we can use for loop in that case. Okay, so we can use for loop if we want to iterate any sequence. Let's say if we want to iterate from 1 to 100, then also we can use for loop. And if you also want to iterate list, set and dictionary are also one of the objects. If you want to iterate those, then also we can use for loops. So if you want to go and see for the syntax of for loop, we start with for, then we give our condition. I'll show you what exactly the conditions that we give. Then we have to use the same colon operator which we had used in if and else statement, and then we can provide these statements. So let's go to Jupyter Notebook and see how we can create a for loop and how is it useful. So I have opened my Jupyter Notebook, and let's rename the notebook. I'll say for loop. Okay, so what I will do, I will say, so let's start with for. Whenever you are using a for loop, then you have to declare a variable for I. I is basically a variable. In whenever we are using for loop, we have to use in and say range. I'll say 0 to 5. Now when you were learning about list, what you saw that you can use 0, then after comma, but if you remember, we had used colon operator in between, and the 5 was not included, and it was including 4 and it was not including 5. So the same case we have over here. In this case, if I'll go and print I, what you will find, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will print I. So how is it going? I in range 0 to 5. So basically 0 to 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't think that it is storing it as a list. I'm just showing you that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 could be anything. So it's a range, and it is just iterating from it 0, then it is print I, which is printing 0, then 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Let's try another one. I'll say for I in range 0 to 100, print I. Then it will print till 100, till 99, right? It's taking too much space, so I'll say 10 and print it. Now let's try another one. This time what I will do, I will not print my I will just say 0 to 5 and I will print hello. Can you see I can print hello 5 times, right? Let's take another example. Now this time what we will do some different sort of operation. What I will be doing, I will say x is equal to 1. Okay, I will declare a variable as x is equal to 1, and I'll say for I in range 0 to 5 print x. Can you see 1 1 1 1 1 1 printed? Now instead what I want, I will say I don't want to print x, I just want to increase it, I just want to add I to it and then print it. I'll say x is equal to 1. I'll say for I in range 0 to 5, say print x plus I. 1 2 3 4 5. Fine, starting with 0 and adding I. Now let's try another one. What we will be doing this time is we will be doing the factorial. We will be calculating the factorial of a number, right? How are we going to calculate the factorial of a number? That we will see. We know that what is factorial, so if I'll say 5 factorial is basically 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? What I will do, I'll say, just comment this out so that we won't get any error. Now I'll say for I in range 0 to, let's try with 5 only. For I in range 0 to, not 0, I'll go with 1 and I'll say till 5. Okay, not 5, I'll go with 6. For I in range 0 to 1 to 6, I'll print, I'll say x is equal to x multiplied by I, and here what I'll say, x is equal to 1, and at last I'll say print x. Can you see I got 120? If you want to see how it basically worked, so I'll go and print x like this. Now first 1 went into the loop, x was 1, now x was is equal to 1 into 1, which is 1, and it printed 1. Then 2 went into the loop, then 2 into 1 is 2, and 3 into 2 is 6, then 6 into 4 is 24, then 120. Understood? By this way. So this is, by this particular operation, we are able to get the factorial of 5. But in case I just want an input from an user and I will calculate the factorial of that number. What I will do in that case, I'll say I'll declare a variable y is equal to int, and I'll say okay, before this, just okay, so before moving on, let's try another one. What I'll say, x is equal to 10. I'll say for I in range 0 to 5, what I want, x is equal to x minus 1 and print I, print x. Now did you understand? 10 minus 1 9, then it printed 9, then I went into the range of, for easiness I'll say I comma x. Now when I was 0, it printed 9, then I was 1, then it printed 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now coming back to the question that we had, what we will be doing, we will be calculating the factorial of a number which is be provided by an user. So y I is equal to int input, please enter number. Okay, I'll be taking as an input x is equal to 1 for I in range 1 comma, what I'll say, y plus 1. There we were using 5, so I provided 6. Now I will provide y plus 1. I'll say x is equal to x minus x. I'll say x is equal to x multiplied by I. Let's correct this, and I'll say print x. Okay, let's print x over here so that we can get the cumulative result. Okay, let's try this. What do you want? Let's try bit 5. 1 2 6 24 20. Again, let's try it. Let's try with 2. 1 2. Let's try with 3. 1 2 6. Let's try with 20. 1 2 6 24 120. Can you see the big result coming up? Now what I will do, I will just use this and it will give me the result as I want. I will say 6. It should be 720. 720. 7 5040 5040. I don't remember 5040 multiplied by 8, but it is 40320. So in this way, basically we can calculate, we can find out the factorial of a number by using for loop. Now we use for loop in another conditions as well for iterating any Python object. Let's take an example. I have a list L1 is equal to, I'll say I have Sam. Let's say I have different colors. Black, I have white, I have blue, I have red. Fine, I have 4 numbers. I'll say for I in, you do not need to provide range over here. You can just say L1 and just print I. You'll get all the 4 results. This is one of the way by which you can basically iterate your list. For I in, do not need to provide range. You can just say L1. Now, if you want to provide range, the first thing that you remember, just think about this. For I in range, what do you want? Okay, let's say 0, 10. Print. You cannot print I. What you can do, you can use your I. I is basically 0 in this case. So what I'll do L1 I. I know. Let's try L1 0, because now for I in range 0 to 10, print L1 of 0, which is printing black, right? Because you are using range from 0 to 10 times. So it will print 10 times. Now instead what I'll say L1 10, but I'll say L1 I. Okay. It has printed black, white, blue and red, but then it has given us an index error. Why it has given us an index error? We know that the list is containing 4 elements only, and after third index it is not having any value. This means that it will give us the range out of range index error. So what we can do in this case, I'll just say len of L1. Now we won't be getting any error. So by this way you can iterate a list, you can iterate any sort of loop and using for loop. So practice, have some questions. I have also provided you an assignment. Just go through it and try to solve it and practice as much as possible. If you have any issues, just let me know. Till then, see you. Goodbye.